Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is October 14th, and right now we are looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. You can see the Hawaiian Islands here. You got Washington, Oregon. There's Alaska. Check out our next system in here, bringing clouds to the region. You can see the storm wrapping up there to the south of Haida Gwaii. We're going to be bringing some precipitation here as we go on in through this weekend, and then we've got a stronger system moving up across the area as we go through Monday. If we look back across the western Pacific, you can see what was Bolivian out there is becoming extra tropical now as it moves towards the Aleutian Islands, and we can even see it better here on the Himawari. You can see Japan is right there. There's the Aleutian Islands, and you can see the storm becoming extra tropical as we speak here. And we'll check out the implications downlying. So when these typhoons here get caught up in the westerlies, they can bring some pretty dramatic ridging and mess up the entire Rossby wave train downstream as far as ridges and troughs are concerned. Look at SeaTac yesterday, 73 degrees there. Nice warm day, only 2 degrees off the record high that we set on this day last year, and then the rains came, 0.12 of an inch. So yeah, we will definitely take it here, and hopefully putting a dent into the abnormally dry and drought conditions here across Pacific Northwest. And we got lots more to come here, folks. Looks like we're going to remain active off and on through the month of October, and we'll look at that in some detail here in a moment. Moderate risk for sneaker waves, just a good thing to keep in the back of your mind anytime during the fall, winter, or early spring here across Pacific Northwest, Vancouver Island, Washington, Oregon. Don't turn your back on the ocean. I've seen these waves run up here, well over 100 feet more in over the beach areas here versus the normal wave height. So heads up for that. Weather outlook, National Weather Service Spokane. You can see as you go on through Monday, Wednesday, you're going to get these gusty winds, and the rain is coming in here. This frontal system is a fairly strong one as we go through the day Monday, and that'll translate across much of the Pacific Northwest. This is for Idaho, Montana. You can see Tuesday, October 17th, kind of calling attention to that gusty system moving through here, and some gusts even maybe up over 35 miles per hour for some areas. Here's Seattle, Tacoma. Actually put a little hydraulic outlook for that system as it goes through the day Monday as well, so we could start flooding places like the Skykomish River out there. Nothing too crazy right now, but we're going to have additional systems rolling in here, so it's something to be watching here. You can start to flood things at this time of year, even though we've been extremely dry, and you can see some of the gale warnings out there as well. Small craft advisories, hazardous sea warnings across some of the coastal waters here. This is looking at a nice portable home weather station. I've been talking about this one for a while. I continue to test 2 of these at my home. It's a very nice station out there. It's all solar powered and wireless. It's been performing quite well. It's quite accurate, especially for the price here. It's great to have a weather station on your house when you get these crazy storms rolling in. It makes it much more fun to watch things. Now looking at 80-meter wind speed. So you'll see the winds pick up a little bit here as that system moves by. Nothing too crazy. We can see some gusty winds across the interior waters of Georgia San Juan's Whidbey Island there as we go through this afternoon and evening, and then watch the Monday system that will pick it up again. We got a little bit of offshore winds actually pulling through the gaps of the mountains here a bit here as we go through Sunday night and on into very early Monday morning. We can see the gusty winds off the coastline here as that frontal system approaches. Bring some decent winds up the coastline here. Not a major windstorm though, and then you can see the frontal system rip across some of the Puget Sound here, especially windy up towards Whidbey Island, the San Juans, maybe straight at Georgia, maybe even some of the coastal areas here right along Bellingham up towards Skagit-Whatcom County, especially near the water as we go through the day Monday. This is looking at composite reflectivity. So there are some showers still out there this morning. I had a shower move right over my house here as well. So probably not good for eclipse viewing. But then you can see as we go through Saturday, we get this weak system here as we go through the day today and on it through tonight. But then the stronger frontal system will arrive here. You can see it kind of taking shape there as we go through Sunday afternoon and evening. And then by the time we get to Monday morning, the strong frontal system moving across the area here, and it will have some impacts even east of the Cascades. And as we go through Monday afternoon, we're going to have some instability around as well. So we may be dealing with the thunderstorm threat. We'll look in that in a little bit more detail tomorrow coming up here. But first I want to look at what's coming. You can see this tropical system out there, the typhoon Bolivian there, and it's making its extratropical transition, moving across the Gulf of Alaska there with its associated atmospheric river. And there's going to be some ridging ahead of it, but you can see a pretty potent atmospheric river into Vancouver Island. How much of this will affect Washington kind of yet to be seen. We're kind of still waiting for some better model agreement here, but it looks like British Columbia is going to be the main target of that system there. And then you see eventually a weak frontal system kind of move through there, and then you can see additional systems here as we go on in through October for the Pacific Northwest. Pretty typical this time of year, but yeah, we've definitely got some active times looking here all the way through the end of October, and I'll show you that here and more with the 500 millibar heights. This is the GFS last night's run actually. And so we have that system moving through tonight. And then the stronger frontal system, there it goes on the day, Monday, moving through. Then we build the ridging out in front of what was Bolivan out there, that tropical moisture. So there's going to be an atmospheric river pointed up towards British Columbia during some of this time here. And then as we build another ridge here across a lot of the west coast, then we continue to swing systems here as we go on into the following weekend as well. So you can kind of see these transient ridges and additional systems moving through. Interesting tropical system developing to the south of Baja there, and just some of the extended forecasts in the GFS and the European also. Heads up if you're planning to take a trip down to the Baja Peninsula down there this time of year. It can get kind of wild. 24-hour precipitation totals. Here we go on the European. And the main system here is the one Monday. It's going to be kind of juicy here moving through. But as we go through the day Monday, you can see some good precipitation amounts, especially the coastal ranges here up through southwest BC. Continue that on in through the day Tuesday here. And then as we go a little bit further out, you can see right at the end of the run, that's that next atmospheric river starting to approach the coastline here of British Columbia. It could be a pretty rainy period, and it's interesting to see how much of this is going to sag south across Washington. Now we'll look a little bit further out on the GFS. This is 24-hour running totals here. There goes the system Monday. Big rainmaker here for Vancouver Island, the Washington, Oregon coast, all the way through Northern California here. A little bit of rain shadowing, as you can see, kind of across the leeward side of the Olympic Mountains there, some of the North Puget Sound, but the Cascades getting a pretty good douse of rain there as well. And then you can see this next atmospheric river. Look at the thing just kind of pointed at southwest BC. Big amounts right across the Vancouver Island area here. And this is kind of bouncing around British Columbia here all the way through next weekend. And then that weak frontal system passes down there. But we have to be careful because any kind of change in that can bring some pretty potent precipitation totals down into Washington. Then as we go on into the extended forecast, look at this, another powerful atmospheric river taking aim at British Columbia again and kind of clipping Washington with that one here too. So we've got quite a few systems to watch as we go through the month of October. As you can see, the extreme fantasy portion of the GFS there. Another system comes towards the Pacific Northwest as we get towards Halloween, but that's way out there, getting a little ahead of ourselves there. Now looking at daily 2-meter max temperature here, nothing too crazy, but we might bounce back in those temperatures a little bit tomorrow, but then Monday's system will roll through and we're going to have cloud shield across much of the area and cool things down here. So pretty typical stuff this time of year. But look, as we get towards the end of next week, we might get a little bit of ridging out in front of that tropical moisture out there that's building that ridge across some of the area. But it's going to be a fine line there where that atmospheric river sets up. But maybe we'll get a nice day or two out of it. Look at Thursday, back up into the 70s for the Willamette Valley, maybe even for western Washington here. No promises right now. It's going to be close. It's a fine line, as I mentioned. So we'll check that out in a bit more detail tomorrow. This is Tillamook, kind of blustery conditions. That frontal system, maybe a gust up towards 40 miles per hour. Hoquiam, Washington coast, something similar there. But look at Whidbey Island here. Check it out. You're getting some pretty good model agreement here on the European ensemble with mean getting up towards 40 miles per hour. So you can get some gusts up into the 40s here as well. And a lot of times the European doesn't quite catch the true impact of some of these gusts up there. So you might be getting some mid and upper 40s there as you go through the day Monday. This is Seattle, Tacoma, kind of blustery as the frontal system moves through the area there as well. The control actually at 37 miles per hour on last night's European though. But looking at Tillamook, Oregon coastline there, you can see 24-hour period, generally up over an inch in agreement here. That system goes through Monday during the day and evening. This is for Hoquiam. Check it out. The control actually had 1.7 in a 24-hour period. And this is going to bring some pretty rainy conditions. That's why they had that hydraulic outlook out there for portions of the Olympic Mountains as well. Seattle, Tacoma, kind of settling right there, 6/7 of an inch of rain on that front Monday. Higher amounts across the Cascades, of course, and Portland, they're looking between maybe somewhere around a half an inch there. Also, not a bad rainy day there coming up. And this is looking at the extended European as of yesterday afternoon. So here goes the frontal system Monday. And then we build that ridge there. We got that trough, and we got the atmospheric river pointed somewhere into British Columbia here. So we'll be watching that close. But it looks like a pretty strong ridge developing here across some portions of the western USA. Another system drives through next week. Another ridge builds, then another system. Kind of yin and yang back and forth between this troughing and systems coming into the Pacific Northwest as we go through the end of October. So might be some interesting weather watching here coming up. 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook. They got us above average here for a little bit of the Pacific Northwest. You can see the below average signal down here across a lot of the southwest, however, and the 6 to 10 day generally above average, kind of in that warmer southwesterly flow. And as we saw in the National Blend of Models, we might get a nice couple days as we go through next week, depending on how that ridging develops and how far north that atmospheric river points as well. This is the drought monitor, and you can see actually the Seattle Metro there. Check it out. They actually put it down to abnormally dry for the Seattle Metro, but there is still some severe and extreme drought just off to the east across Snohomish, Skagit, Whatcom County here as well, and there's some abnormal dry across the Kitsap Peninsula and some the coastal regions, even in some severe drought as well. But we should be making some good work of this here over the next few weeks. It looks like on in through October, so hopefully we can eliminate a lot of this drought here across the area with the systems coming in. But yeah, one more last look here. You can see our storm system rolling through here as we go through the day today, and then there's Bolivan out there. It'd be interesting to see if there's going to be any change in the forecast here. Will this atmospheric river sag south? Will it bounce north a little bit? Will we warm up a little bit more next week? All good questions. We're also going to watch for that instability on the day Monday. We could have a thunderstorm chance with that system after the frontal system goes through. We'll look at that in a little bit more detail tomorrow and try to pin down if we have any thunderstorm chances here across the area. So anyway, yeah, hope you guys are enjoying these videos. I'll put the eclipse video down here, and it's not looking too hot here across a lot of western Washington, western Oregon here. But if you go a little bit further south and east, and if you're out there, you're probably, you're gonna have a better chance to view it. But I'm not gonna give up hope. Sometimes you know how it is. You can view that sun through some of the higher clouds out there, but don't be looking at it without your eye protection on. Anyway, we'll do this again tomorrow. Hope you guys are having a good day, and I will talk to you guys then.